Okay, let's pull this up and move this over here. Let's see how we're looking. Oh, did we lock? Come on. Ah, there you go. Well, uno momento. I think we'll obviously play this one. Do we get the option of US? Uh, no, so let's go back. Uh, Road to Independence, the Jamestown. Okay, April 1607. So hope everybody's doing well on this Sunday, sunny Sunday. Huzzah, huzzah. Not horrible graphics. I like their hats. Oh, shoot. Gotta defend against these guys. Yeah, run away. Uh, they might try to flank us. I mean, they are charging without fire sticks, so There's actually quite a bit of those guys. Mm. Let's reorganize. Oh man, what do you guys think? This is turning into a bit of a freaking chaos. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, you sneaky buggers. Let's go melee. Let's not shoot into our friends. That would be not nice. In battle, thanks. All right. We lost 18 men to their 100. That's what, like a 4-to-1 ratio? That's not bad. Check my math in the comments. Try and back at OBS Studio for this video. Brave. Peace. There can be no peace. Okay. Construct a building. Your first task in the new world should be the protection of the Jamestown settlement. So we need peasant farms. Sure. Mm. We have one of each, so let's bring. Okay. Yay! Agriculture, 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 which we all know has some darkness to it as well. But at this point in, what is it, 1706? I think they were still practicing indentured servitude more than slavery. But check me on that history. Feel free to You definitely don't want to judge history off of any video game. Fishing village. Nice. Newport. Fishery. Okay, what do we got here though? So small cotton or small. Now, interesting enough, I was reading Washington's biography, like really complete from youth to like post presidency. It's really interesting that like he did not like cotton, or excuse me, he did not like tobacco because it was so fickle to grow. And one of his gripes against the establishment in England prior to the revolution was that where he traded his cotton to or consigned it, I guess is the right word. He wasn't a big fan of their rates, and he always felt like it was a barter system at that point for the most part, even though they did pay him. That they were bartering in advance of harvest for like goods and stuff, and he always felt like he was getting Timu level uh, items for like his good quality of tobacco. And also like tobacco was a highly labor intensive um, crop without always having the return on investment. So we'll do a small tobacco. That's debatable because tobacco is like a luxury crop. Cotton was used a lot all the way up into like 19th century where it was very in high demand in Europe. So we'll do cotton. And let's see, we needed a port. Okay, so we got some new units. They're going to be our ready militia in the event we get attacked. I honestly don't know if I've played through this part of the campaign before, surprisingly. Um, at least not on this PC because when I loaded Steam up, it only allowed me to start in chapter one. So, yeah, regiment of militia. Can't really build anything yet, so hey, we got chapter two unlocked. Don't know if they like to be called peasants in the new world. Oh, and so begins the uh, Werewolf. Hmm. Not sure if they are a historically accurate name, but feel free to let me know if they are if you're in the East Coast watching this video. So we need to capture that. So that's we will send it there. Yes, crown and country at this point. Okay, you know what? Let's take settings. Nope, options, game settings, advisor. Well, campaign advice, none. Why, if it's set to none, why are you giving me uh, very high? Oh, let's reload that, see how that looks. Yeah, that looks better. Save. Resume. And to be honest, we are doing really good. 10,000 gold. Now, I think the problem with that, if trying to recall this from like 10 years ago playing this game, like this money doesn't always carry over when you start like new episodes or chapters, but I'm not sure. So we'll see. I don't like charging the cities. I never in Total War games never had much luck. They do outnumber us, but we technically have firearms, so let's see how that goes for us. We might get our butts kicked, but we could also win. Those who dare win, right? Am I right? Can we build anything yet? No, nothing. FPS. That's pretty insane. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're pulling down like 700 frames per second. I like it. I like it. Hey, we've didn't even have to go to battle. Where Wakamaku? So we got to go to the north episode. That's the right word. We'll repair that. And okay. It would be over here then, probably, right? Or here. I think this was the objectives. Shakamaxon. Yep. Shakamaxon. That is an awesome name. Oh yeah, that's the issue because like we we are gonna have all this money, but it doesn't carry over. That's I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. Got a some what do you call it? Man, my brain fog is real. Achievement. Ooh. So they will engage us like 720 versus 540. We'll see. Oh shit, we're already live. Gotta get deployed. Actually though, that's a pretty I don't think they'll come that way. So let's I think if I'm not mistaken, that will allow us to fire over these guys' shoulder or this guy's shoulders, but we'll see. back down the. And one thing cool about this, if you hit delete, you get their like POV. They got arrows, or yeah, arrow bows. So bows and spears probably. Okay, well, let's close in. Where are the rest of the? Oh, they're coming from where? Oh yeah, there. Well, we'll defeat these guys. And now, if their mechanics holds true, they won't like being shot at from the flanks. We're gonna flank around. We're rapidly being approached by these guys. Hurry up. Now we'll engage these guys. That would be great if you could go there. Uh, fine. You guys want to be melee. So we'll go into this. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much done. Uh, melee these guys. Fix bayonets. Yeah, that's going pretty good. Wonder once this battle is done, I'll turn the brightness up. It looks a little dark on screen, huh? Now we'll just chase these guys down. And that looks like the last, I don't know. I think that's the last unit of theirs. Yeah. We don't have any cavalry, so can't really go fast. And that should be it. Hmm. Heroic victory. I guess they give us heroic victory because of being outgunned or outmatched. But we still lost like 120 men. That's kind of high. Uh, yeah, so do we want to bring up reinforcements? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Let's bring up some reinforcements once they're Okay. All right. Now let's control A. 25. Man, I wish all the campaigns would have that much gold. That's crazy. 25K. All right. So I think later games from Total War, they would also encompass maybe that's not that's Kingdom Crusaders that does that. If you go into enemy territory, you take casualties. So they have 2,000 men. That could be, well, it's gonna take like 3 turns to get anybody up there. So this, but in the event we don't, oh, we can't recruit either. In the event we don't have enough guys, we'll have to do some recruiting. But yeah, that's not. I mean, this is fun. I'm telling you, like back in the day, I would sit here and play this game for like 3 or 4 hours at a time on my laptop, and nerd out on the both like the game itself, but also like the the historical context of this time period. Yeah. And like a lot of the times, one of the things that isn't really covered is like the Brits kept the colonies out of the Ohio Valley area prior to the Revolutionary War. I mean, there was some, obviously, some people, fur traders and land surveyors went into there, but predominantly they kept that closed to keep peace with the tribes. And then when the Revolutionary War took over or took place after that, that was pretty much open, and that just I mean, I remember watching one video where it was like 5 million Native Americans died before they really met the first like white person on the continent. So I'm sure that also played into the success of colonies. But yeah, but even still, once the Ohio Valley was open, they just that opened the floodgates for some bad stuff to happen in our history. They may or may not fight back. So they didn't even fight, took to the battlefield, even though they had like 2 to 1, uh, 2 to 1 superiority. Mm. So like two things that like they didn't really cover supposedly that I learned from reading. Well, I had heard it before, but Washington was like basically in that campaign to drive the Brit or the French out with from their forts in the Ohio Valley, he had talks with like I don't know if it was a French army. I don't remember or not, but he there was some lost in translation after the fact that he admitted to that he had murdered the French. I don't know what you would call that person. The French party rep basically, and due to like being at nighttime when that document was being read after they were surrendering to the French after they had lost, and like I think that was in Fort Necessity area, that basically lost in translation was saying that he admitted to the murder, and that that justified the French's France's response, but then that also cast him as a bad person in France as well as a scapegoat in England, and he lost some stock points on that. And then the Braddocks mission. I don't know if Washington was actually in there. I don't didn't think he was, but maybe he was. Okay, man, my it's a really good book. Let me see what the name of that was before. I should have pre-staged that, but that was library. That was just literally his name was is Washington by Ron Chernow, which I enjoyed that book and recommend it if you're a nerd. So our first objective is the Iroquois Confederacy, an alliance. Okay, so that's pretty accurate. But I think what Washington's views was they weren't really as active. They were like basically just playing both sides. George Washington as a young man. All right, so so what do we have here? We have quite a big standing army. Quite a big, actually. Got some rangers in there. All right, so do we have? Oh, it's done through this here. Okay, open negotiations. Press trade agreement. Okay, so that we'll start with that. Let's see what we can see back to like 1400 gold. That's would be nice if I could have that 25K we had in the bank. Mm. Yeah, let's build the establishment, and then next turn we'll do the peace. Right. British colonials. Ah, yeah. Uh, Iroquois request alliance and military access. Indefinite, indefinite. Hmm. Okay, cool. So we got that. So now because I think that is like I vaguely recall we needed that because that's goes through their land to get to their Algonquin. Pardon that pronunciation. Local fishery shipyard. How about a shipyard or a fishery? Uh, yeah. When's our objective due by? No time limit. Okay. Fishing fleet, of course. That the music. All right, so we got a fishing. I don't think we need a sloop at this time or a navy. So now the question is, we want to keep him there. Yeah, let's keep him there. Who is this guy leading? I would say that was the other thing that was interesting was talking about the dynamics of like intrigue between Washington and the other some of the other generals underneath him that they didn't necessarily like Washington as much as they made it out to believe. So we'll get that constructed and then we'll deploy to the north. They have quite a big army of 24 pounders, yeah. So we give them a 24 pounder, or yeah, let's do some more of that. We'll do that for Washington, so he has that. All right, so return. What does that get us? Anything different? Not really. Now you get some light cav. Does he have any cavalry support? Not really. He has one more space, so let's. But we'll. I guess can't do that. So let's. All right. So now he has cav, even if it's only one. Oh, he actually has two, huh? So yeah, that'll be good. We'll push north now. Now, you have two ways we could go there. I think we have like we can go through the woods, but that doesn't really help us. So we'll just go through the shortest way. Oh, quite a big army there. What do you have there? Fort this do oh, yeah, I'm not gonna I forgot how they pronounce that in the book. Oh, full disclosure, it was an audio book too. Don't come at me in the channel, all right? I do what I can when I'm tobacco. So we will siege. Now, if they have a bigger army nearby, we might be in trouble. But we are recruiting. Uh, yeah, we're recruiting, so we'll see. Nice, nice, nice. Sheesh. Construction. Can't build anything. Army recruitment. Hmm. No, it doesn't even have us really research stuff either in this variant. So, oh, they don't even. That's interesting. I would have thought maybe because it's the setting I'm playing on. Okay. Army. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna walk into. No, they don't. Not horrible. Yeah, so now, yeah, still nothing we can recruit. Not a whole lot going on in this playthrough. I like that Grand Campaign you play as a British, but I was like, for the 250, come on, I'm team colonies all day. And we'll get furs and, yeah, furs in another form. That'd be nice if they don't attack us. Yeah, so now these guys will fight, but we have them outnumbered. They don't have any reinforcing, so let's see. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Mm. We shall see about that. Ah, so we can. Oh, we have the high ground, which is quite interesting. I'm assuming they'll come. Okay, so let's put you guys there. And well, I don't want to tie. I don't think they'll come up this hill, honestly. Famous last words. I don't think they'll come up this hill. So let's. We'll put our rangers and some light cav with. Get out of the way. We'll put our rangers, light cav. Oops. Okay, let's and get over it. There is some wonkiness to the pre. So why? Uh, okay, there we go. That works. And then we'll put a line infantry here. Oh, I can't. Just in case they get froggy. That's rangers. So let's uh, put another. We'll utilize this hard point here. Oh my gosh, 2,000 guys might be a little extra for. All right, so let's spread you out. Uh, yeah, there you go. That guy. Uh, you're another line infantry. This setup is going to take longer than the battle, probably. Uh, so you will fight at the base, but we can't. I think you're. Ooh, maybe not. That looks. Yeah, you're not what we want in the front line troops anyway, so we'll put you there. 4th Infantry Regiment. Put you here. Yeah, yeah, that works, kinda, sorta, not really. There you go. Uh, you guys, all right. put them here, and then we'll short once the battle commences. We'll put them over there. One of those guys over there. Uh, let's put you here. Militia as well. George, you're not George, luckily. We'll put you here. I feel like you'd want to have command of the sea, so we'll put you there. All right, guys. And 3, 2, 1, go. So they only have like an hour to attack since they are attacking us. So that could work out in our favor. Let's bring you here. They're bringing up from there. That's so they're totally attacking from that side. So we will bring another unit here. We don't have any different shots we can use, so they're not that great. These guys are mostly unoccupied, so we'll bring them up to here. Oh, yeah, that's good. We'll bring you up here because they are bringing some armed citizen. I'm not too worried about them. All right, so what do we got? Got our troops in place. Light infantry or line infantry, excuse me. And so far, our cannon have done not much, not much. Some of our guys are hidden. Let's see, is he in? No, he doesn't count as hidden, but I think he does. Yeah, okay, maybe not at all. So, line infantry. Yeah, they're not having any of that. They've lost about 20% of their men. Gonna try. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll circle. If it goes well, we'll circle around. It's yeah, yeah. That's dragoons. I guess these guys would probably be called. 137. We lost six. I don't know if we can carry the day on that. All right, so they say we're winning. Cool. That's. Are you running away? Mm. Yeah. Bring up the reserves. British colonial. Oh, the French fight more than we thought they would. Bring up some rangers. We're good skirmishers, but not necessarily great toe-to-toe fighters. See how the rest of our looks good there. Looks they're retreating. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Bring up them guys. They're down to about a quarter of their men gone. They got some artillery inbound at us. They're over 50% casualties. Cannon, that'd be great if you could cease fire. You can keep firing. You can. I think I cease fire you. Yeah, you're. All right, so where is combat remain? Looking at our heads up display. So they're chasing. They're chasing. They're chasing. Uh, got some shenanigans going on over here. Let's run you guys down with our guys. Do a counter fire mission. Okay, you can stop firing. Yeah, I think we just besides the cannon, I don't really want to send our guys chasing after these guys, so we'll use nice. 50% casualty rate. Yes. Yes. You love it. You love it. I think that's just about it. I guess we could take the fort. Yeah, we can end battle. Cool. Heroic victory. Yeah, that's why I don't. Now, if we had attacked in that position, we would have had to assault the fort, and yeah, that's a lot harder taking the walls. We only lost 150 men. Nice, nice. Hmm. And the last fact I will throw at you is that though at the time, up until it depended on where you're at, what you called this war. Now, if you're European based, you're going to call this the 7 Year War because it lasted between the French and British for 7 years. And like basically, from what I've understood of reading about from historians' books, the French kind of just dropped the ball and they just kind of stopped pushing the reinforcements to the Americas, and that was when once the British decided to take a pivot from their current strategy, and it goes way deeper than that, but they took a pivot and they started reinforcing the New World, and the French didn't, and that was kind of like the beginning of the end, even though it took like another probably 5 years to close it out. And now, if you're in North America, you call this the French and Indian War, but this is critical in the history because this cost of this 7 Year War was attempted by the British to pass on to the U.S. as the Stamp Act and a couple other non-desirable taxes they tried to push on to us, the colonies, to pay for this war, which you can look at it from both ways. You can look at it that the the British were right to they need help, but at the same time, Britain had enacted certain restrictions where you couldn't trade with anybody but the Brits legally. Let's put the air quotes on there, legally, and that's not really fair then either for the colonies. So yeah, everybody had their own bugaboos in history, I guess. So yeah. Yeah. So, if you're liking this kind of content, if you could just do a like or even subscribe to the channel, man, it would help me to grow. I always kind of jump around on what I'm playing, so sorry if that is kind of like not your cup of tea, no pun intended. But I like to jump around just to, it gets boring to play like, same old, same old. I know a lot of people like zone in on that, but a part of this channel is I want to do what makes fun for me as well. So yeah, without further ado, you guys have a great day. And see.